Type in your name or select it from...
I'm so excited to get back to Canada. When I was a kid, we used to go camping in the Canadian Rockies. Just think, Canada and the U.S. share a border that's over 5,000 miles long.
Yeah, that's something. The longest border between two countries in the world, right?
Winter here in Quebec can get pretty chilly.
Well, even though Ottawa is the capital of Canada, Quebec City is a very popular place, even when it's this cold.
And most of the people in Quebec have French ancestry, don't they? Anyhow, the chief said this is where Carmen Sandiego's transmission came from. Let's get moving to stay warm.
And keep our eyes peeled for clues as to where that Moko gong has been stashed.
That's an interesting wolf statue over there. We should go check it out.
Gong must be a key to figuring out Carmen's master plan. Carmen's trail is getting colder by the minute. And I'm getting colder too. What about you?
Thanks for your concern, but this time I'm prepared. Perhaps you've heard of Acme Standard Issue Heated Long Johns?
Okay. Oh yes, I remember. Carmen always used to talk about her concerns for the environment.
Well, she's not very concerned about us, that's for sure. What is this?
It sure is a strange note. Makes me think it's got something to do with Carmen, though. It's so near her plaque on the wolf statue.
Good thinking, Jules. Let's hang on to it. Maybe it'll help us track down that fish gong.
80% of the people in Quebec have French ancestry.
So I guess that means I better check the translator in my database and brush up on my French. This phone is out of order. Maybe it'll be fixed later. The envelope's empty, but what do you suppose this word means? Didn't I read in your Acme profile that you're a linguistics expert?
We all have our strengths, Hawkins, and I do try to pick up some language in my travels. Something tells me that's a Zulu word. I'll note it in my journal. But checking your database might help us find out where it's from.
No luck. Maybe we should check the spelling. Didn't I see that word written down somewhere? No luck. No luck.
Back when I used to work with Carmen, I don't know how she did it, but she was always able to get us into first class. All right, so we took a wrong turn. Let's get out of here. Have you ever been to Paris before?
No. Always wanted to, though. What about you?
Carmen introduced me to the city when I was a rookie. France is the biggest country in Western Europe, and you know what's amazing? 16% of the people of France live in Paris.
Wow, so this is Paris. I can't believe that I've never visited the capital of France before.
Yeah, well, the locals pronounce it Paris. Carmen's conducted a lot of criminal activity here in the past. We need to be careful.
Okay, Mademoiselle Carmen Sandiego. If you're here, we'll track you down.
So many famous French painters. What an inspiration.
You mean Monet, Gauguin, Renoir, Matisse?
Not bad, Hawkins. I'm impressed. Every time I see this design, there's some link to Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you're right about that. What does this thing say?
A receipt. Something to do with a book. And La Dame Rouge.
The Red Lady? Oh, we've got to find the shop this book came from.
This is really interesting. I didn't know Carmen had donated money to the Sorbonne, one of Europe's most important universities. She always was interested in ancient civilizations. I'm going to note this in my journal. We're looking for a book, La Dame Rouge. Do you have it?
La Dame Rouge, you say? The Red Lady? Yes, I have that book. I was to hold it until someone requested it by name. I have not even opened it. Here, take it.
It's been hollowed out, and look, another animal. What do you think?
I don't know. But with a title like La Dame Rouge, I have to think Carmen's involved somehow.
Yeah, we'll keep this for sure. Paris has tons of outdoor cafes. Think we'll see any famous writers penning the next masterpiece of literature?
Maybe. Poets, artists, and others used to spend hours in these cafes writing and philosophizing. But nowadays, I think people are more interested in a different art form, world-famous French cuisine.
Magnifique! The Eiffel Tower was the world's tallest structure when it was constructed for the 1889 Universal Exposition.
984 feet tall, and still the most famous landmark in Paris. There's a picture of Carmen and me nabbing a criminal in front of it that's hanging in the Acme office here in Paris.
Let's go after him! He's guilty of something!
Hold on, Hawkins. You have perfected the art of jumping to conclusions. Chief, does Acme have any other agents in the area? We've got a suspect on the left bank of the Seine across from the Notre Dame Cathedral.
We've got 2 agents nearby. I'll notify them immediately. Any idea as to who it may be?
Not sure. He left a painting that we're going to check out. It may be a clue in finding that gong.
A painting? So what? Let's get after that thief!
Don't you see something familiar about it?
There's that wheel design again.
This painting doesn't look like a city in France. Where is this place?
Hey, Jules, don't get discouraged. That's where what you call my toys come in handy. Clue analyzer ready. It's a street in Jerusalem. Not bad for a toy, is it?
Pretty impressive, rookie. I hope they don't lose our luggage this time. My intuition tells me we've gotten off track.
Intuition? I wish they had an electronic device with intuition. I've always wanted to visit Israel. What an incredible history.
The State of Israel was created in 1948. Before that, it had been called Palestine. The capital, Jerusalem, is a fascinating city with a real mix of old and new. So, back in Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, Christian, Muslim, and Jewish people all consider this holy ground. I remember getting some excellent falafel last time I was here.
Isn't that made from ground chickpeas? A burger would be more up my alley. Speaking of alleys, you know, it feels like these walls have eyes.
Carmen could be here watching our every move. Let's find out. Wow, if these old walls could talk.
No kidding. Thousands upon thousands of years of different peoples and cultures leaving their mark here. Egyptians, Romans, Arabs, Crusaders, Turks. It's a thrill to be in such an ancient city.
Ancient indeed. I heard the city recently celebrated its 3,000th birthday. But at the same time, modern Jerusalem is very cosmopolitan.
Another one.
That painting led us here. And you were actually right about the painter being guilty of something.
That must mean you think we ought to hang on to this. I'll put it in my digital clue storage device. Whoa! For a second there, I thought that person up there with the red coat and dark hair was Carmen Sandiego herself.
The hat isn't a fedora.
Yeah, I realize that now. It's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to have to find a clue here. Wow, this food sounds great, and I'm starving.
As always, you should quit being a secret agent and go open a bakery somewhere. China is the most populated country in the world. I love silk clothing. Do you remember that silk scarf back in Thailand?
Uh-huh. Isn't silk produced by a silkworm when it makes its cocoon?
Yep. In ancient times, though, silk was very valuable, and only the Chinese knew the secret of making it. Did you know that Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago?
Archipelago? What's that? Like the world's largest unaccompanied singing group?
I think you're thinking of a cappella. Are you kidding me?
Don't forget, I graduated top of my class too, Jules. An archipelago is an island chain.
You were scaring me there for a minute.
Don't they have Komodo dragons in the Republic of Indonesia? If I were the world's largest living reptile, there are prettier places to live on these islands than this cave.
Hawkins, detective work isn't always glamorous. You've got to follow the clues wherever they lead. There's been vile activity detected near this cave, so we need to check it out. Anyhow, don't tell me you're concerned about a 10-foot lizard.
No, I'm not scared.
Yeah, right. Let's get to searching these caves.
Another one. What do you think it means?
I don't know. But the way Carmen works, we shouldn't discount anything we find.
You know, Jules, I'm starting to think that you may be right about these things. We should look at all the clues in my clue storage so we can figure out our next step. This is so weird. Did you know that South Africa has 3 capitals?
Their system of government was set up by the British.
But why 3? Isn't 1 enough?
Well, Cape Town is legislative, where they make laws. Pretoria is the administrative capital. And Bloemfontein is the judicial. You know, for their courts.
Cape Town is unbelievable.
I thought you'd like it here.
That flat mountain over there must be Table Mountain, right?
Yeah. For hundreds of years, it's been a landmark for sailors rounding the southern coast of Africa.
The waterfront looks like a good place to sniff out some clues. The sort of place Carmen Sandiego might hang out. Look, a lecture on Shaka. He was king of the Zulus during the early 1800s, revolutionizing warfare in South Africa with his ideas on encircling the enemy.
Wish he was still around. He could give us a few tips on how to encircle Carmen.
According to my briefing, this is a secret Acme field office. The Acme XM1 call tracking device. No successful agent should ever be without one. I'll make room for this in my vest for sure.
He'll call you at the phone booth near the Chateau Frontenac. 7:00 p.m. Be there.
That's Carmen Sandiego. I know it. We gotta break the door down.
Hold on, Hawkins. You have no idea what you might be walking into. It might be a trap. Write down the message. But don't touch that door. We may hear something else important.
Well, at least let's try to intercept that call. We can use that Acme XM1 tracking device.
It's Carmen!
What did I tell you? Chief, we spotted her again! Chopper heading north from Cape Town waterfront.
Roger that, Hawkins. We'll try and follow her on our scopes.
Man, one of these days. What were you thinking, Jules? Did you want her to get away?
Well, maybe it's just as well she did. I'm counting on her leading us to something a lot bigger than we can imagine.
She's just playing games with us. I can't wait to see her safely behind bars.
Unfortunately, Hawkins, it may not be anytime soon. Her helicopter mysteriously disappeared from our radar somewhere north of Table Mountain. Keep following her trail. Finding that Moko Gong is critical to figuring out what Carmen Sandiego is really up.
Maybe this message can help. Put it in your clue storage. I'm making a note of it in my journal.
What I wouldn't give for a hamburger right now.
All right, let's skip the tourist stuff and get to work.
Agent Shadow Hawkins checking in. 6:59 p.m. and 41 seconds. Right on time. Special Acme tracking device XM1 is ready. Now, why doesn't that phone ring?
Patience, partner. Just be sure to activate your device when it does ring.
Okay, tracking device on.
Vial X77 code 33B. The Golden Lion will not walk. Instead, it will sail in tonight.
I got it down, but what does it mean? It obviously must have been meant for some vial agent. Could sailing in mean a boat? But which harbor would it be sailing into?
Well, the tracking device indicates that the call was placed from the banks of the Seine River. The database will help in locating the spot to travel to.
The banks of the Seine? I've been there. It's where the painters and booksellers hang out. Let's get out of here before one of Carmen's henchmen shows up. You think of France as one of the leaders in world wine production. But you know, it was the Romans who introduced grapes into France.
Those Romans really got around.
You remember the Colosseum in Rome? Well, in southern France, there are also Roman colosseums and aqueducts. They did get around.
Time to check out the Seine. I mean the scene.
Très drôle. Very funny.
The Seine River passes under more than 30 bridges on its journey through Paris.
So many famous French painters. What an inspiration.
You mean Monet, Gauguin, Renoir? The Seine River passes under more than 30 bridges on its journey through Paris.
These would be wonderful places to see if I weren't so intent on catching Carmen to restore my standing in Acme once and for all.
I've got lots of great books here.
Notre Dame Cathedral is one of the...
The Seine River passes under more than 30 bridges on its journey through Paris. The Eiffel Tower was the world. Paris has tons of outdoor cafes. Think we'll see any famous writers penning the next masterpiece of literature?
Maybe. Poets, artists, and others used to spend hours in these cafes writing and philosophizing. But nowadays, I think people are more interested in a different art form, world-famous French cuisine.
Magnifique!
Good news, agents. I just received this fax. A boat near Cape Town may hide a clue or two.
Did you?
Got to be thorough.
Well, sure, but I heard that 16% of the world's reptile and amphibian species are found in Indonesia.
And you're wondering if they all live in this cave.
No. Well, yes. I've read Cape of Good Hope. Well, maybe there's hope of finding Carmen Sandiego in South Africa.
Cape Town is a key port city of South Africa. Keep alert. Carmen could sail right by us at any moment. Okay, Chief. We found a yacht. The Golden Lion. Do you have any info on it?
Registered to one Vincent Ian Lee Edwards. Nothing suspicious so far. Wait a minute. His initials. V-I-L-E. Vile. You're obviously on the right track. Be careful. Chief over and out.
Okay, Hawkins. We better check this out quickly. Who knows when the owner of the boat will be back?
Okay. I know what I'm doing. Acme Procedure C4. Commencing clandestine search procedure. This notebook records the latitude and longitude of everywhere this boat has been.
Really? Where did it sail from?
The Indonesian islands, just south of Thailand near the Indian Ocean. They used to be called the Dutch East Indies. Did you know there are more than 13,000 of them?
Thank you, Hawkins. If this detective gig doesn't work out, you'd make a great tour guide.
What is she up to?
I don't know, but it was Carmen who led us to this boat, so I think we better hang on to it.
You're right about that. Let's keep it.
Listen carefully, agents. Go to the Cape Town curio shop. Arrange the animals in their proper spots. There are clues attached in case you forgot.
They're not here anymore. A key! This has got to be the key to where that Moko fish gong is hidden.
You know, I've been looking into the history of the Moko. I guess those types of wooden fish gongs were struck to bring someone meditating back to full awareness, since it was believed that fish never slept. Interesting, huh?
Well, speaking of never sleeping, it doesn't look like we're going to get any rest until we figure out what this key is for. So, well, here we are.
As always, I'll keep track of the key information we find in my journal.
Let's go!
I'll bet there's something interesting in here, but it's locked. Wonder where we might get a key.
There it is, and hey, we're right back where we started. Carmen Sandiego really did take us around in circles, and somehow I'm starting to think she's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, and I'm starting to suspect that this is not a series of unique cases, but one big overarching plan of Carmen's.
Jules, I've confirmed that your suspicions are right as usual. Every item you've recovered so far is missing a gem. Look closely at that gong, and I'll bet you'll notice a spot for a missing gem as well.
Roger that, Chief. I'm sketching it right now, and there's a hollowed-out spot right in the center of the wheel design. I wonder why Carmen's keeping the gems. And what about the link between that explorer and the wheel design?
Hang on, agents. I've just received word that yet another item's been stolen. This time it's a priceless Senate game table from ancient Egypt. The museum in Cairo is very concerned. A vile agent's been spotted hanging out near the Sphinx. You're on your way to Egypt. This may be your chance to finally start putting all the pieces together.
The ancient Egyptian game of Senate. That table's probably over 3,000 years old.
We're on it, Chief. And this time, I'm not playing any merry-go-round games with Carmen Sandiego. I'm bringing her in.
You're not going to be able to do it alone, Hawkins. It'll take teamwork to catch Carmen Sandiego. Remember, there's good reason I've paired the two of you together.
I'm looking forward to getting some Egyptian food. Doesn't fool sound yummy?
You don't have to call me a fool just because I don't know about Egyptian food.
I'm not calling you a fool. Ful is a dish made from fava beans. Egyptians eat it more than any other food.
I guess there's little hope for finding a nice juicy steak then, isn't there?
It's pretty incredible to think that Egypt was ruled by the pharaohs for like 2,500 years.
Like Pharaoh Fawcett. In the original Charlie's Angels?
Right, Hawkins. Wow! Look at how huge the Great Sphinx is.
Impressive. Do you remember whether pharaohs were actually kings, or did they get elected by a council?
That sounds like a piece of information that you'd find in that database of yours.
These symbols kind of look like they might mean something.
I think you're right about that. We'll come back if we find any clues as to what they are.
Fascinating, aren't they? Hieroglyphics are the ancient Egyptian form of picture writing.
Not the easiest thing to translate, even for me. Sometimes they're meant to be read left to right, and other times right to left. Carmen had some degree or other in the study of hieroglyphics.
She sure didn't want to talk to us. I wonder what kind of funny business she was up to. I smell a rat.
I think you smell the remains of that taco you stuffed in your pocket in Mexico. Chief, what do you think?
About the food smell or the suspicious woman? I'll put out an alert on a suspected vile agent hanging out near the Sphinx. We'll see if we can track her. Meanwhile, check out the area. We've got to figure out what Carmen Sandiego's plans are. Chief signing off.
Buenos Aires, huh? We should keep this card in that clue storage of yours. Nice jewelry, but it doesn't look like it was made around here.
Let's use my trusty Watson Clue Analyzer. That should tell us where it came from.
If you insist.
An Indian earring. And just what I thought, Carmen Sandiego's fingerprints are all over it.
It comes from around Agra, near the Taj Mahal. Well, 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 she's been back there again.
All this travel is kind of fun.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to catch Carmen. It would be nice to take a vacation, spend time gardening, and get to know my cat again.
Okay, what do we do now?
Time to book a flight on our global transportation system. Let's go where we can find clues.
Have you checked the scene? Any clues here?
I wish I had a device that automatically scanned the scene. It might save us some time. Quick, Jules, what's the capital of Argentina?
Buenos Aires.
I thought you might know that.
Then why'd you ask?
We have to talk about something, don't we?
Look, Pampas.
Who are you calling Pampas? Oh, you mean Pampas, Argentina's grasslands.
Exactly. And cowboys down here are called gauchos.
I knew that too, of course.
Well, hey, gaucho. Any ideas where we can round up the stolen Egyptian Senate table? This place looks kind of deserted.
Let's call this number and see who we get.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes. Hi. You don't know us, but we're detectives from Acme on official business. Any idea why a Vile agent would have your business card? We found it in Egypt, of all places.
Well, this is interesting. Carmen Sandiego, she's the head of Vile, right? She contacted me a few years ago about a base I helped build in Antarctica. Before I retired here, I was a contractor working on scientific installations.
Oh, really?
Even stranger. Last night someone stole the plans for the underground vaults near the base. They're for the storage of dangerous chemicals and such.
How would we find those vaults?
They're quite a distance from the base, but there's a beacon at the base camp that turns on a signal at the vault. Here, write down the frequency you need to set it to. 857.
Thank you. You've been really helpful.
Sure thing. Anytime. Goodbye.
Yes, we got some great info from him. 857, huh?
Uh-huh. But this may sound strange. I had a bad feeling about him, Hawkins. He was almost too helpful.
Nah, really? Well, we'll keep our eyes open. What do you think, Chief?
I trust Jules' intuition. It's not often that she's wrong. Keep following Carmen Sandiego's trail. I'll get another agent to look into your rancher friend. Chief, over and out.
An old newspaper article. And did you read it? I've gotta update my journal.
So, someone besides us has been here recently. Curious. The Alhambra, eh? It's not in Argentina, that's for sure. Maybe the database could help.
Good eyes, Hawkins. I'll note it in my journal.
Check out that flag on the wall. That's definitely not Argentina's flag. How strange. I bet my database could help us figure out which country it's from.
That rancher sure was helpful.
Operation was successful. Vile security level Alpha 1. Monitor Acme 1 and 2 and report. Codename Hielo. Red Lady 1 out.
I just love finding these things. Sounds like Vile agents may be watching us, though. And what does that code name mean?
Hielo. It's a Spanish word. It might be something to do with Spain or even Argentina, since they speak Spanish here too. But it's the meaning of the word that's puzzling me. I need to make a note here in my journal.
Why? What does it mean?
Hielo means ice. I was just reading how at one point the UK, Norway, Chile, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, and France all had overlapping claims to portions of Antarctica.
Right. And then they all agreed not to press those claims and signed the Antarctic Treaty, stating that Antarctica can only be used for peaceful and scientific purposes.
Maybe that trend will catch on with the rest of the world.
Let's hope. I still can't get over this place. And I thought Quebec was cold.
Ah, but there's more than just meets the eye. It's thought that large reserves of oil lie around the coast, and there's definitely coal underground in some places.
Well, I tell you, they need all the fuel reserves they can get around here. Because it's cold. And where is everyone?
This place does seem deserted. Strange.
Hey, check out the snowmobile! Let's go exploring!
Hold on, Hawkins. In this weather, we'd get lost without a signal to follow.
No wonder I'm freezing! Antarctica holds the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded on Earth. Minus 129 degrees Fahrenheit. Where's the hot cocoa when you need it? Aw, cool! You'll never guess what this is.
No, let me guess. An Acme 5XQ3 Turbo What's-It with an X-ray tweeter.
Do I detect a note of sarcasm in your voice, Jules? Actually, it's an Acme MV24 molecular scanner. But what's it doing here? Chief?
Very interesting, Hawkins. Security mentioned the theft of one of those from our operative in Buenos Aires. Hang on to it. It may prove useful.
This is a biography of James Cook. In the 1770s, he sailed below the Antarctic Circle, looking for a fabled southern continent. All he ever saw was lots of ice, but he knew there must be a continent there.
Hey, check out that cool transmitter over there by the window and...
Look! Look! At the window! Who is that?
What on earth? Quick, after them!
Oh no, we're locked in.
Don't worry about that. I'm prepared for any emergency. I thought I had it. Now where did I put my refluxing lock disengager? Where'd you get that?
N424 electrosonifier. Standard Acme issue.
Now, where did they go? Looks like they hightailed it out of here. We need to figure out where they went. Maybe that transmitter inside can help.
But how did they know we'd be here? Wait, that rancher from Argentina. I told you he was up to no good. Okay, let's see if we can input the correct frequency.
That's it! We can home in on that signal. What a cool hunk of rock! It must be a meteorite. Here's a cool factoid. Since 1974, more than 14,000 meteorites have been found in the ice. Can't get this thing started without a key. Now where would they keep the key to this thing? Looks like a key might have fallen out of the storage unit. We need to search around this area with the molecular scanner. Found something! My super spy instincts tell me that this may be useful.
My, what keen instincts you have. A useful key, huh? The key must fit the snowmobile. Climb on! Let's follow the signal and go find those vaults.
As long as you know how to drive this thing.
There's a first time for everything, Hawkins. Hang on! Wow, this looks like some kind of crazy lock scheme.
Yeah, it's got Carmen Sandiego's name all over it.
But I think we're missing some clues. We need to search around some more.
Whoa! A bump.
No clues here.
Well, at least we got to get out and stretch our legs. Breathe a little fresh air.
It always blows my mind to think that back in the days of colonialism, like, 1770? Someone like Captain James Cook could just sail to Australia and claim the whole East Coast for Britain.
I know. Australia only won independence in 1901.
Apparently, the government is finally now working to help the native Aboriginal peoples regain title to some of their lands.
Hey, all right. This part of Australia is a happening kind of place. Sailing, soccer, restaurants, you name it.
A lot of Australians must agree with you, because more than 80% of them live here on the southeast coast, in cities like Sydney or Canberra, the capital. Most of the rest of Australia is desert.
Well, I want to take a look around this souvenir shop a bit. Maybe I can find a memento to take back to the States.
Who knows? We may even pick up a clue or two.
Someone's been doodling here, and look what was on that person's mind.
All solved except for that one word. From the looks of this clue, I'll bet we can find the answer somewhere around here. Let's hang on to it. A didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo what?
Didgeridoo. It's an Aboriginal musical instrument.
The Australian platypus is certainly unique for a mammal. Not only does it have a beak and webbed feet, it lays eggs. Oh, and I just remembered. The male has poisonous spurs behind each ankle.
That's it.
Mr. Trivia does it again. The solution to the missing word in the crossword puzzle. I'll jot down that word. India awaits. And when we've searched this area for signs of the Egyptian Senate table, I want to get back to New Delhi.
Why? The capital of a country isn't the only cool place to hang. I'd rather visit Mumbai, which was called Bombay the last time I was here. You know, Bollywood.
Bollywood?
Yeah, they call it that because of all the movies made there.
Oh my goodness, it's you two again. The secret spy agents, right? I've been keeping my eyes peeled since you left. For suspicious persons, you know. I have very helpful information for you.
Really? Well, great.
That tall lady in red you mentioned before, I have seen her. Yesterday, I was very sneaky. She dropped a piece of paper, and I got it right here. She did not suspect a thing.
Thank you so much. I think you'll make a great secret agent someday.
I do not have anything else for you, but I will be keeping my eyes peeled.
But what is this thing? Some sort of instructions? Did you know that soccer is the most popular sport in Egypt?
Soccer's the most popular sport practically everywhere. But I thought camel racing would be the big thing here.
Actually, it is a big thing. And horses. Don't forget horses.
Oh, that's right. You do know all about horses.
I really admire the Egyptians' irrigation systems. It's so cool how they managed to get water from the Nile to flow into the desert for farming.
Well, the Nile is the longest river in the world. But even with all that water, Egypt still has to import 2/3 of its food supply.
These Egyptian hieroglyphs look like they form some kind of puzzle.
You're right. Let's follow these instructions and see what happens.
My hunch is that we'll need to find the exact matches for these symbols on the clue and in the right order.
An electronic clue behind ancient hieroglyphs? Obviously, this was put here recently.
And that design links it to Carmen Sandiego. Yeehaw! Now,
The chief said this villa had been rented by a vial agent recently. We need to keep our eyes open for a clue as to where that Senmut table might be stashed.
yeah, this is some fancy place. And isn't that big building over there the Alhambra? Magnificent!
Well, did you know this fact, Mr. Trivia? There's an unusual carving at the gate of the Alhambra of a hand and a key. According to Washington Irving's tale, the hand will one day reach down and grab the key. Then the earth will open and the hidden treasure will be found.
Washington Irving, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow author?
That's right, Hawkins. Spanish oranges are famous, of course, but you'll also find other citrus fruits, not to mention grapes and olives growing around here.
Looks like we interrupted someone's game of chess. Check it out.
Giant-sized. And look, there's that wheel design again.
I'll take a photo of this. Whenever we see that design, Carmen Sandiego is definitely involved.
Wait a minute. This isn't just the design. Take a closer look.
Wow, I didn't notice. These look like drawings of the items Carmen's been stealing. At least 5 of them look familiar. Let's call the chief and see if she has any information on this villa.
The villa? As a matter of fact, I've looked into it further. It once belonged to a reclusive Portuguese explorer. No one knows much about him, but there's a legend that he had a great treasure.
That diary page we got in Thailand. Do you suppose it could be the same explorer?
My intuition tells me that explorer, the wheel design, and a great treasure are all connected. Now, why would Carmen want the gems from these things? And are the other 2 items on her list?
Well, I say you'd better note all that in your journal, regardless of what your intuition tells you. You know, I had no...
Wow, all this snow. If it weren't for chasing Carmen, I'd hit the slopes. I packed my board.
You'd be snowboarding the Earth's largest desert.
Yes, and snowfall on Antarctica's highest plateau is equal to the rainfall in Africa's Sahara Desert. Not a lot. Wow, this looks like some kind of crazy lock scheme.
Yeah, it's got Carmen Sandiego's name all over it.
Well, let's see if we can figure it out. It looks like we've got all the pieces we need.
Yeah, to set the number on the lock for the letter P in platypus, it looks like we need to find the letter P at the bottom of the chessboard, and then look at which row the chess piece is in. Hey, this is quite a place. It's actually a bit warmer down here than on the surface.
Shh! Let's keep our eyes peeled and our ears open. Carmen could be down here too.
This could get to be quite a maze.
We're not lost yet. That stolen item's got to be around here somewhere.
You're sure we're not lost?
Trust me.
It's here! But where's Carmen Sandiego? I thought we'd find her for sure.
But we found the Senate table, and that's quite a catch. And we know that it's part of a greater treasure.
And just as we expected, there's the wheel design. Look, no gem.
Good. You're really working together on this. I think you're on to something with that explorer. Carmen Sandiego's after a bigger treasure for sure. I've had another call, and...
And don't tell me. Carmen's stolen something round and valuable. I remember the image from the villa near Alhambra.
You're right, Jules. You always did have a good sense about these things. It's an Aztec calendar, circular, like you described, with a series of beautifully decorated rings and...
And I hate to break up this little party, but I just couldn't resist. So you managed to escape my little trap at the base camp. I'm impressed, Jules. You and Mr. Hawkins are working together better than I thought you would. And you learned a little something at the villa, didn't you? But don't get cocky. There's so much more you don't know. See you around. Ciao.
She did it again! You've got to stop her. Perhaps the best way to spoil her fun is to find that Aztec calendar. A vile airplane was tracked flying over the Congo and then disappeared from radar. We lost the signal over the Ituri rainforest. I want you two to get over there pronto. Over and out.
Good. Somewhere tropical. I'm freezing. Let's go. I hate to admit it, but I get nervous flying over all this rainforest. How long before we reach the capital at Kinshasa?
Well, even though we can see the Congo River out the window already, it could still be quite a ways. It's the second longest river in Africa, running right through the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Whoa! Looks like our vile friend had a little accident. Not my idea of fun, crashing into one of the world's thickest rainforests. But no one's here now as far as I can see.
You're right, but that campfire can't have been out for very long. We better watch our step. If we're right, finding that Aztec calendar is crucial to putting a wrench in Carmen's plans. These huts are made by the native people who live in the Congo, pygmies. They're less than 5 feet tall.
The huts are shaped like a beehive. Looks like they covered them with pharinium leaves. Great shelter.
I wonder if our vile friend used this too.
A candy bar. Looks like our vile friend was hungry. What language is that on the wrapper, though?
Chinese. This may be a lead. This thing's worthless. It's broken.
Hang on. I can fix it. There. Should work now. I'd better get the old call tracer ready, just in case.
Vial Agent X-34, this is Red Lady 1. Are you still there?
Yeah?
You don't sound very well. I'm set to leave the cabin. There's a map here for you. Plus, I've almost got the signal figured out. I'll let you know about it as soon as it's finalized. Red Lady 1, out.
I'm impressed. Good job fixing that radio, rookie. Just in time, too. You know, I think we're beginning to make a pretty good team.
I think you're right. By the way, the call tracer indicates it came from the forest near Stockholm.
I'll note what we heard in my journal, so we don't forget it. I think we're on to something.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Something's definitely been transported in here.
I'm really enjoying this secret agent stuff. I think I'm getting pretty good at it.
Watching all those detective reruns really paid off, huh?
In some cases. Hey, I think we're almost on Italian soil. This is amazing! To think I'm actually on a bridge in Italy.
I know. Ponte Vecchio is one of my favorite places to visit in Florence.
How can I help you?
We're just looking around.
How can I help you?
We're just looking around.
How can I help you?
We're just looking around.
An English horse brass, unique and quite valuable.
Would you please stop squirming?
These little seats are just not comfortable.
You should try yoga. Somehow, I don't think we're going to find any clues here.
Oh well, maybe another time. Now let me get this straight. Scandinavia historically refers to Sweden, Norway, and Denmark?
Right, and after we land, we'll head for a cabin in the woods, northwest of the Swedish capital of Stockholm.
Well, I should feel right at home here, seeing that I'm a Vikings fan.
That's what? Basketball?
Never mind. Phew, that was some hike. Look at all these trees. I've read that forests cover more than half of Sweden. When do we get to see the other half?
Shh! This place looks deserted, but you never know. Look at this. The design we've linked to the stolen items in Carmen. It's here on this ancient steel. There's writing, too. Looks like runes.
You know, I think we should call the chief and see if she has any information on these runes.
Agents, good to hear from you. How's the case coming along?
Chief, it's the strangest thing. That design that's on all the items Carmen has stolen, well, it's here on this stone slab, too. Can we translate these runes?
Runes, huh? Okay. Your transmission is coming through. Well, let's see. Our database translation indicates these are runes that tell of a lost city. Something about a great treasure hidden beneath a huge boulder. Good work, Jules and Hawkins.
Thanks, Chief. I'm jotting that down in my journal.
Carmen's hidden something here. It looks like a miniature axe. The Swedish Vikings used axes like these. What could this be for?
Maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. What would one use an axe for around here?
Well, will you look at that? The city of Warwick, huh? Man, this is a really old map.
It sure is. I wonder what Warwick looks like now, and why Carmen had this stashed here.
It must be meant for that vial agent whose plane crashed in the Congo. Maybe it's a clue as to where they transported that Aztec calendar.
Carmen must have rented this cabin. 1/5 of all Swedish families have a country home or cabin for vacations, so she had lots to choose from.
What's that in the door?
Carmen must have left this for one of her vial agents. We need to find the Rosetta Stone?
I should know that. China? Egypt? Maybe it's in the database. Great Britain is part of the United Kingdom and is the largest island in Europe. Have you ever been there before?
Oh, yes.
Hey, check out the castle.
They say that Warwick has the finest medieval castle in England.
Knights, castles, dungeons. This place must be rich in history.
No kidding. And Carmen loves history. We need to check this place out completely. Who knows where we may find a clue?
I'll take 2 of everything. This is pretty funny. I mean, seems like a drastic move just because of some weird goings-on.
I don't know, Hawkins. It pays to consider every little thing. You never know where a clue may be hiding. I'm going to note this in my journal. Excuse me. We found this map of Warwick Castle. Would you mind telling us what you know about the place?
Well, the castle is a rather spooky place, actually, full of mystery. At night, one can see flashing lights from a window where no room exists. At least you can't get to the room from inside the castle.
Really?
Come and see for yourselves. There they are. Jolly peculiar, aren't they?
And you can't get to that room from inside the castle? How strange.
I'll say, I recorded those lights on a compact Super Double E3 digital video cartridge. We may need it for evidence.
Could it be someone signaling? There's gotta be a way in there.
Interesting fireplace.
You know, I think there's more to this, but we seem to be missing some important information.
Yeah, let's come back after we look around some more. Even though the British and Americans speak the same language, there are lots of differences. Like, this is a mailbox to Americans, but the British call it a pillar box, where they can post letters. What is that thing stuck on the window?
Surprise, Hawkins. I knew you couldn't resist an electronic device. I'm a little disappointed. This hasn't been half the challenge I thought it would be. You've much more to learn, doesn't he, Julia? Oh, well, it is hard to find a worthy opponent. Just remember, I'm always nearby.
All that training, and they never told me how incredibly irritating Carmen Sandiego is. And I thought we were doing well.
That's just her way. She thrives on taunting her pursuers. Maybe she's getting nervous that we've trailed her this far.
You know, Britain's red phone boxes are harder and harder to find these days. They're all being replaced with newer models.
Maybe Carmen is buying up all the old ones. She has a thing for the color red.
What a great view of Manhattan Island! The New York City skyline is just amazing!
Washington, D.C. may be the nation's capital city, but New York is the Big Apple.
What a great view! You can see the Statue of Liberty and most of New York City from here. These are some digs.
Well, I still can't believe you found this place, like finding a needle in a haystack, in the largest city in the United States. A travel guide to places in the United States. Wonder why the Rocky Mountains are circled.
So what? It's just a magazine.
I know. Just a funny feeling, that's all. I think I'll make a note of it in my journal.
No one's here. This magazine I'm reading says that China Wow! I'm impressed. And this is just one section of the Great Wall.
It's hard to describe unless you've been here.
You've been here before?
Yes, a long, long time ago. I love silk clothing. Do you remember that silk scarf back in Thailand?
Uh-huh. Isn't silk produced by a silkworm when it makes its cocoon?
Yep. In ancient times, though, silk was very valuable, and only the Chinese knew the secret of making it. Curious. A ticket stub. And it's not to the Beijing Opera either.
And Shakespeare was English, that's for sure. Maybe I should use my trusty Watson clue analyzer on this.
Carmen's fingerprints. We know she's been here.
But why the ticket to a Shakespearean play? Maybe the database can help.
And I'll note it in my journal. Carmen was fascinated with Chinese opera. We need to keep our eyes open. She could be nearby.
Yeah, maybe she stashed that calendar around here. Wow, this food sounds great and I'm starving.
As always. China is the most populated country in the world, but
the Chinese invented the abacus, which is still used today for mathematical calculations. I love math.
Why am I not surprised? You know, Xi'an was China's capital more than 1,000 years ago. In fact, the first printed book was published here.
Yeah, when did Beijing become China's capital?
Well, Beijing was a capital city several times over the centuries, but it became the capital of the People's Republic of China in 1949.
No one's here. We'll come back again. You know, I'd be happy to take those peanuts off your hands if you weren't planning on eating them.
Forget that. This is the closest thing to a meal I'm going to get all day.
I don't know about this place.
Me neither. I think we may have taken a wrong turn.
So,
All right, so we took a wrong turn.
another... Okay, here's a piece of Swedish... Hey! Well, here we are, back on the bridge in Florence.
I keep wondering about Carmen. Her plan must have something to do with that explorer and the legend of the great treasure.
And finding these stolen items could be the key to solving the mystery, right?
An English horse brass. Are you interested in it?
We'd like to purchase it, actually.
All right! This is part of what we need to help us solve the puzzle at the fireplace. Okay.
Okay, Hawkins. See if you can answer this question about Warwick Castle. Who ordered the castle to be built in the first place?
I remember reading that on the flight here. Oh yeah, William I, clear back in 1068 AD. Interesting fireplace.
You know, I think there's more to this, but we seem to be missing some important information.
Yeah, let's come back after we look around some more. That castle is really mysterious. We need to find out more about it. Let's call the chief.
Greetings, agents. So you're calling from Warwick Castle. An Acme informant on Ponte Vecchio has studied castles throughout Europe. I suggest you go meet her. Oh, and there's been some concerns about Acme security in Florence. You'll need to use a password. Lighthouse. Make a note of it.
Got it, Chief. I love passwords. Real secret agent stuff.
So,
All right, let's fan out and start gathering important information.
Buongiorno. Good morning. Can I help you?
We want to visit a lighthouse.
Oh, si, yes, I can help you.
Acme agents Jules, Argent, and Shadow Hawkins here. The chief told you we'd be coming with an old map of the castle in Warwick.
Oh, yes, great to meet you. Argent, eh? Weren't you Carmen Sandiego's partner at one time?
Yeah, a long time ago. And no, it wasn't my fault she left Acme.
No, of course. Anyway, about this castle, I've heard the tales of a secret passage. These old maps often contain hidden information written in a special invisible ink. It can be revealed, but unfortunately, I don't know the secret.
Well, so much for getting help here.
Shh! I said I don't know, but there's an Acme informant who can help. I can't give you his name for security reasons, but he goes by the codename the Mandarin. If you want, I'll call him and let him know what you need.
Code name, huh? How come I don't have a code name?
Maybe someday you'll earn one. Anyway, we need to check the database and figure out if the Mandarin is a clue as to where we can find him. The Democratic Republic of Congo. I wonder if anyone from Vile even knows their plane crashed in this rainforest.
Well, it's pretty isolated in this part of Africa. Stay alert and let's see what we can find. The Congo rain... Did you...
Okay, back at the Great Wall. Let's get... We don't know how to mix the herbs together. Let's look around for the formula. We've got to find out where Carmen has hidden that calendar. It may help us in figuring out where that Portuguese explorer hid his great treasure. Did you know that China was the first to use paper money?
Not only that,
Looking for this? Great minds think alike. But sorry, I got here first.
I've got her! She's not going to get away this time!
You may have the formula, but you'll never catch me.
Well, she's gone again. But it looks like she may have left something behind.
All right, we've got the formula. Let's get back to the shop and mix ourselves a solution for that mystery map.
Looks like we mixed it up incorrectly. Let's keep trying. Looks like we mixed it up incorrectly. Let's keep trying. Looks like we mixed it up incorrectly. Let's keep trying. Looks like we did it. Let's see what happens. Just what I suspected. A secret passage.
And the tunnel leads right from the inn to the castle.
Good work, agents. This could be the breakthrough we needed. Time's running out for tracking down Carmen Sandiego and the missing calendar. Stay sharp. Chief out.
I'm going to find an empty row and stretch out. Catch some Z's.
I'm gonna go see if I can find some more peanuts.
Let's start looking around. We could learn a lot.
Interesting fireplace.
You know, I think there's more to this, but we seem to be missing some important information.
Yeah, let's come back after we look around some more.
I've a hunch there's new information at the Warwick Inn.
What perfect timing! I just received a postcard from Mr. Zane Troy, the former innkeeper. He took a few souvenirs with him when he left. One in particular I found a bit strange. The gent was so spooked by the fireplace, yet he took a poem about it that hung on the wall. The postcard's around here somewhere.
Wish we could talk to him. The postcard has an address. New York City.
You know, Britain's red. Okay. Did you know that millions of people commute to New York City every day?
That's why it's so hard to find a parking space.
Excuse us, Agents Shadow Hawkins and Jules Argent from the Acme Detective Agency. We understand you recently moved here from Warwick.
That's right. It was a strange place. Weird things going on. I was glad to leave.
The present innkeeper thinks you may have taken a poem from the inn fireplace. Would you be willing to let us have it?
Well, I am rather fond of poetry. That's why I took it, you know. Still, I'd let you have it for a trade. Don't you two travel a lot?
Oh yeah, we have a tendency to rack up the airline mileage.
Well, during your travels, have you by chance seen a figurine that matches this one? I'd trade you the matching figurine for the poem.
Wait, that figurine does look familiar. Gold-plated. I've definitely seen it somewhere. We'll come back with the matching one. Sometime. Let's not stand around. We've got a mystery to solve.
How can I help you?
We're just looking around.
How can I help you?
We're just looking around.
Do you like that? It's rather rare. Only a few others like it in the world, and a solid gold.
It's the figurine the guy in New York wanted. We'll buy it. It's expensive, but I think I have just enough Italian lira.
Now we're really on the way to finding that Aztec calendar. From the photo the chief downloaded, I can tell it's a beautiful work of art, but I sure couldn't tell the date from it.
Actually, the Aztecs had two different calendars. One was a 260-day religious calendar used for deciding when to plant crops, go to war, and so forth. The other was a 365-day solar calendar. When I first started...
Let's find some clues.
We brought the figurine you wanted.
So you did. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And here's the poem.
Great. At least, I think so. What does all this mean? So, I'm starting to feel like a native here.
Great. Let's get to work.
Check it out! So there is a secret passage! It's got to lead to that hidden room in the castle!
Spooky or not, let's find out. Chief, Jules and Hawkins here. We found a secret passage from the inn. Keep monitoring us in case we run into trouble.
Good idea, Jules. Now be careful, both of you. Carmen Sandiego can't be very happy about you finding her stolen treasures. Keep an eye out for that Aztec calendar.
Look, we're in the castle dungeon. But it's deserted.
Looks like our friend with the signal lamp must have gotten away. Well, there it is, the Aztec calendar. Unbelievably intricate, isn't it?
Agents, excellent work. This was a tough case, and the two of you broke it together.
Chief, I'm absolutely certain now that there's a link between the stolen items, an explorer, and a lost city. Carmen is after something much bigger than these items or their gems.
And, as I suspected all along, the wheel design appears on this item as well.
As you suspected? Oh, well, never mind. Yes, Chief, there's the wheel design and a possible gem missing from the center again.
You're doing a great job, agents. But we don't have Carmen Sandiego. And
I did have her, on the Great Wall. She was right there, almost in my hands.
Unfortunately, the key word here is almost. But never mind, Rookie. We got the formula, and we couldn't have cracked the case without it.
Sorry to interrupt, agents, but Carmen Sandiego's been sighted in Germany. She entered a site of historical importance, but managed to jam the gate behind her. Follow her and find another way in.
But did she steal anything? Jules here is banking on her taking another item, right?
Well, if my theory's correct, the image at the villa showed 7 items. We've only found 6.
And have you figured out why Carmen Sandiego is taking gems? This time she apparently stole an ancient Roman bust of Julius Caesar. Why that one statue, I don't know, but it's time to put your heads together and solve this case. Board the next plane and take the latest Acme equipment.
Equipment! Will do, Chief!
Julius Caesar, stolen item number 7. How does this tie in with Carmen's master plan?